All right, Thursday, March 19th in Titusville, Florida, back at the Titusville Mall. Haven't been here since episode 3, so we're gonna check it out. A lot's changed here. They've done a lot of knocking down the old building, but the main part of this place still exists. That smell, the vibes, look at the cool pictures here. It's coming along. The main store is now gone. I think it was a Ross or a Marshall's that was here. Not going with the glasses today. I think I can get away with holding my phone. This has turned into a giant thrift store, antique consignment type deal. Looking a little bleak here. It's been probably 3 years since I was last here and did the episode. I believe it's episode 3. It's a pretty good episode. It's a lot different than the episodes I'm making now. And last time I was here, I did the thing with the head shop, and that's gone with the Indian guy. That's completely gone, it looks like, which is sad. I am just finally at the end of all my addiction journey, which was when I left Wisconsin. I was doing cocaine, I was doing 7-OH, and I was smoking a fucking ton of weed. And now I'm down to just, I had quit 7-OH, but then I started taking the pseudo, which is a kratom derivative. So I've been using pseudo for a while, got off the cocaine, that was easy. Weed, been in 4 months now with the weed. No weed for 4 months. And I've tapered down to just the tiniest bit of pseudo. So I am completely done with kratom after this. I am never getting involved with kratom products again. MIT, regular kratom, kratom pills, 7-OH, the pseudo, I'm done. Because it is a opioid and it is heroin-like withdrawals. Not that I've done heroin before, but yet the smoke shop is done, buddy. And they've destroyed this whole other half of the mall here that was here before. They've completely knocked it down. Just a quick update, because this is a small mall. I probably won't do my video inside the antique mall. I came here to go to the antique mall today. That's my goal today, is to go walk through the antique mall. And a little quick update. I wasn't even going to do a little mall walking update, but I said, you know what? I haven't done a mall walking locally in a while, and I've been falling behind because I've been such a dirty kratom addict. So I thought I would give y'all an update here. Valentino's, that looks pretty good. But yeah, I'm going to walk through the antique store now. So that's the update. I might give you some updates in the store if I find some cool stuff, but that's it for now. This mall is still here, and it's about the same as we left it. So we'll see you inside the store. So yeah, this is the Titusville indoor flea market. I didn't wear my glasses today, which is why I'm using my phone. And I don't feel like editing some videos, so I said, let me just do a quick little video today, and I will give them something to look at. A little update, but yeah, I've been a dirty kratom addict for the past almost 2 years in different forms, and I am never doing it again. When I kicked 7-OH, I had a really bad pain day, and 7-OH wasn't available in Florida anymore. So I said, let me just explore what kind of kratom products they have. And I discovered Pseudo. And I kind of knew about Pseudo. The kratom, the 7-OH in Illinois I was using had Pseudo in it. But this is just straight Pseudo. So it's a little bit, it's a tweak of the molecule. It's a gray area drug. And next thing I know, I am hooked on Pseudo from probably November of last year to now. So about 4 or 5 months, I have been wasting my money on, it's helped me with pain, but I've solved the pain problem mainly. And I truly want to be drug-free. So I'm just at the tail end of being completely and utterly done with kratom. This is just a junk store, by the way. Probably gonna turn the camera off here in a minute and just look around. I like to go to these places. I like the smell, if that makes any sense. I like the nostalgia that can hit you when you find something you haven't, something you used to own that you lost or threw away or sold. You see it on the shelf and it just takes you back 20 years. A lot of people sell junk though. A lot of people sell like 3D printed stuff. But I like art. My place in Wisconsin had wall-to-wall cool art. This is a pretty big store. So anyway, I'm whispering because there's lots of people around. I don't want to let them know how much of a junkie I am. But yeah, I initially used cocaine to quit 7-OH. And then I stuck with weed, and then I quit weed, and then I was basically out of the woods on all the drugs, and then I had a horrible pain day, and I had some leftover 7-OH, which I should have gotten rid of, but I used it, and then when that ran out, which wasn't much, like I said, I explored the options here in Florida, because they banned 7-OH in, I think it was September, completely. But the Pseudo remained as a gray area molecule, a tweak of the molecule. It might even be more addictive than 7-OH. It's been pretty hard to kick. I've been titrating though, and that is my method of doing it. Titration with high dose vitamin C and NAC. So that's where I'm at. That's what I've been doing. That's why the uploads have been not as, I haven't been uploading as much because I've been kicking an opioid addiction over the past few weeks, like really going down fast with the titration. Cold turkey is just too much for me. So anyway, oh, look at the Jordans. I used to have a pair of those. Anyway, if I see something cool, I'll update you. I'll be back on here. Otherwise, thanks for checking in. Thanks for following, as always. You are enlightened. Still here. Also, I've been here 7 months and the job situation is just abysmal. Now, luckily, I don't have to work if I don't want to, but man, I like to work, and also being a drug addict has not helped me in terms of thinking clearly and wanting to go out there and attack the shitty job market. I will probably go back into photography. I will try to get the Float Universe stuff going again. But I've been really having a fight against, telling myself that it was a bad decision to leave Wisconsin, because for months now I thought, like, man, I should have just stayed. The job market there was better. The cost of living here has just gotten insane. It really has. And just Florida's just a big, fat, flat, hot, humid swamp that I've lived in most of my life. And all the traveling I did last year just made me hungrier to see other places. So I'm kind of bored here. Now, see, these, I hate these 3D printed crap. Touching you. You got a Batman mask for your cat. Somebody spent a lot of time and money printing 3D printed garbage. Skeleton. Uh-oh. Okay, you're laying down now. I got my ex-girlfriend a booth in Janesville when we were living together in Wisconsin. And people would just constantly steal from it. Steal clothes, right? Women's clothes. I hated it. We barely broke even, didn't make any money, and people stole stuff. I don't know how this just must be a hobby for most people, because I don't know how anybody makes any money on a large scale doing this. A lot of these people are just probably wasting their time and money. It's a nice little hobby for them. You can find some pretty cool stuff in these places, though, if you're lucky. And I don't shop at Goodwill anymore. That's just greedwill. It's just things are more expensive than brand new retail. And my brother was a general manager of a store. He was making too much money. They fired him. He had one of the most profitable stores in the whole state of Florida. And he was the head guy, and they fired him. Don't be too successful in this world. That's another thing I've learned over the past few years. People hate it when you're successful. People do not want to see you make money. What a joke. Here's another thing you see a lot of at these places, this Beanie Baby garbage. People used to think these things were going to be worth a lot of money. Are y'all liking the soundtrack today? I'm actually looking for little wooden Indian, I forget what they're called. I can't think of the name right now. But I collect they look like DMT elves. I'll think of the name here. I like coming to these kind of places too, because they remind me of Wisconsin. There was a ton of these places in Wisconsin. It was like American Pickers, the TV show, on steroids, the Midwest and all the farm stuff. So when I want to feel like I'm back in Wisconsin, I come to these places now. Are you enjoying the fucking mall walking, bro? Are you happy that I keep doing it? Leave a comment. Leave a comment below if you got this far in the video and you're enjoying it, bro. The time tunnel to the past. Now this mall has 2 antique malls. This is the first one. We're gonna go to both. Look at these old ass Star Wars. I have a huge one of these that an ex-girlfriend gave me. And then I gave that one to my last ex-girlfriend, so she still has it, one of these big purple quartz things. It's one of the things I bet she's still holding on to. It's pretty cool. Lots of VHS tapes and Star Trek The Next Generation figures, bro. We got that. We got Beanie Babies, bro. We got Hot Wheels, bro. We got NASA stuff. That's one thing you see a lot of in Florida here at these antique stores is NASA stuff. You won't see a lot of vintage farming stuff like we would in Wisconsin. Oh, there's more Hot Wheels. Ooh, Back to the Future DeLorean, bro. Pretty cool. When I was a kid, I almost bought a real DeLorean. And when I say a kid, I mean like a teenager. Like this was the early 2000s. They wanted like 20 grand for a shitty DeLorean. I'm 6'5", so I could actually fit in it, which is one of the reasons I want it. John DeLorean himself was 6'5". But I didn't buy it. They're expensive to maintain, and they are pigs, man. They are so slow. They don't have power steering. They're really shitty things to drive. Like, they're not cool at all. They're not fast. A lot of this stuff is just straight up junk. Now, some of these booths are curated really nicely, but a lot of it is junk. Are you still watching the video, bro? Let's see what we got over here. Oh, more Star Wars. All right, so the name of the Native American wooden dolls I was talking about, they're called kachinas. And I love them because they look like DMT entities. I've got about 6 or 7 of them at home. They got a banging soundtrack at this antique store today, though. A lot of the songs off the Goodfellas soundtrack. Hopefully, I'll be able to play this video without too many copyright dings. This used to be a Ross, though. This antique mall I'm walking through today. And now we're gonna head to the other one, because I did not see any kachinas in here today. Nope. All right, let's head to the other one and then we're gonna get out of here. Great mall, though. Great mall. Such a vintage 60s Central Florida feel. The magic that you do, my dream come true, my one and mall walking you. All right, we are gonna go to this other antique store and then we're gonna head out of here, bro. But the job market here is abysmal unless you are an engineer or in the medical field. So I'm gonna have to go back to photography, which was a lucrative field for me. I made a lot of money doing photography. The Titusville Mall. Okay, antique mall number 2. That was the Titusville Antique Mall. This is a different one. This is the Titusville Indoor Marketplace. All right, let's go. Okay. This is the original antique mall for this mall. And these booths are a lot more put together. Like this person is heavy in the game here. I feel like I might find a Kachina in this one. And the music isn't as loud, so that's good. All right, I will come back to y'all if I find anything interesting, or give you a little final exit at the end here on a hunt for cool things. But yeah, you can see these booths are all a lot more put together. These people have been here longer, and it's just the OG antique mall here in Titusville. It really, now this kind of stuff reminds me of Wisconsin. I miss Wisconsin. In a lot of ways, I regret leaving. I had a nice thing going. I was building a new life there. Even without a girl and a steady job situation, I was really enjoying it. Oh, I love that. I love that swirl painting, bro. Oh my God, I gotta have it. More quartz. Pretty stuff. More rocks. More Funko Pops. Can't stand Funko Pops. No Kachinas. Ooh, the Thinking Man, bro. Rodin. All right. It's usually a hodgepodge of Hot Wheels and old paintings and quartz stones and all kinds of good miscellaneous stuff, bro. This one is lots of space items, okay? This is what I mean. You gotta, and when you get towards the middle of the state, when you get into Central Florida, you find a lot of Disney stuff. But this guy has not as much space stuff as he used to have. You got your Hot Wheels. I've been spending another thing I've been spending a lot of time on is Beatles research. The Beatles is a massive rabbit hole. I'm not going to get into that on this video, but I've been spending the past 6 months extensively researching the Beatles. And what got me into it was this book called I forget the name. That's a great album, by the way. The Memoirs of Billy Shears. Now, Paul McCartney supposedly died in 1966 and he was replaced. And like I said, I'm not going to get into it today, but man, that's a great album. These are some pretty good albums here. A lot of times it's shitty. A lot of funk and groove and soul. But I'm obsessed with the Beatles, bro. And I've been going through a lot of Paul McCartney stuff over the past. Paul McCartney is Billy Shears. So Billy has been living as Paul McCartney for 60 years. He's been Paul McCartney longer than Paul McCartney was Paul McCartney. Because I think Paul McCartney died when he was 24. There's Julian Lennon, John's abandoned son. But I've been fucking obsessed with the Beatles for the past 6 months since I read, there he is. There's Billy. Since I read the Memoirs of Billy Shears, I am obsessed with them. Now I gotta go back, bro. If I see a good Beatles album, I'm gonna buy it. I'm not gonna buy the Paul McCartney, though. A lot of Paul McCartney solo stuff is mediocre. But Billy puts a lot of clues in the albums, even the new stuff. But I'm going to make a whole breakdown about the occultism and the doubles of John Lennon and Paul McCartney and Billy Shears. And I'm going to really get into it, bro. There he is, Billy. Yeah, I spent all this money on a damn booth for my ex. And I ended up doing all the work and taking care of the booth, and here's some records, and noticing all the shit that was stolen, because we kept an inventory. People would just straight up steal, bro. Where's the Beatles? Bad Company, Buffalo Springfield. Well, not quite. Alphabetical. Laws, Skaggs. Chuck Berry. Okay. Oh, ooh. There we go. $18. Lots of clues on the cover. The walrus was Paul. Look what else I found. Paul's funeral. That's his grave right there. And then Abbey Road. Played this song a lot in my last 2 months in Wisconsin. I'm not going to get any albums today. Don't really need them. Pretty cool to have. I'm not listening to records currently, but I just love the artwork. Billy Shears. This mall, this antique store is way better than the last one. This is more of a real antique store feel. That last one was just junk pile, man. I'm sure I'll find a Kachina in here eventually. We're on Kachina hunting. I found some great Beatles albums though. Tempted. That was the first pressing of Abbey Road, $40. I could probably find one better on eBay. Look at the Fresh Prince jacket, bro. But I am dead set on finding a new Kachina to add to the collection. I love them. I'm on a vision quest. I like going to antique stores because it takes you out of your normal routine and it's all kinds of random stuff, and you can use it to attract synchronicities and items that can relate to perhaps a vision that can lead you in a certain direction or inspire you. I really love this 60s. I had a girlfriend that our whole apartment looked like this place. The whole apartment was wallpapered in a different style of the 60s. And she was obsessed with owls. And the walls looked just like this. All this kind of art. She's the one that got me into the Beatles. She was obsessed with John Lennon and his shitty 70s recordings. To this day, I can't listen to Mind Games. I can't listen to that song without thinking of her. But she was obsessed with owls and this vintage style. This is one of my favorite curated booths so far. But yeah, I've had some pretty interesting girlfriends. And like I said in my little video previous to this one, I'm not interested in getting in another relationship until I find that person that I'm willing to risk it all for again. Somebody who is better than the last. Somebody who is interesting and inspiring. I ain't just gonna give it all up for some random average ass woman. I need that good shit, bro. I'm looking for a Kachina. Will we find one? When people have this kind of stuff, when they have religious artifacts and they have stones and stuff and Native American stuff on the wall, highly likely you're gonna find a Kachina. Sometimes they're just randomly sitting there in a booth of mishmash. Ooh, I have 2 versions of this. That's really nice, but they want way too much for that. 25, that's a really nice one. I like this one because all of the last year and a half, when I was living in Wisconsin and I was having some dark moments and I was doing all the different drugs, when I was at my low point with opiates in 7-OH, this image really spoke to me the most. And his, at the Garden Gethsemane or whatever, and he's about to get crucified and he's in that dark moment. That really spoke to me. So I got a lot of that on my wall at home. I don't need any more of them. Wisconsin mentioned. There he is, Wisconsin. Okay, so this is one with a lot of cool space stuff. This is what you get in Florida with a lot of these antique stores on the Space Coast where I'm from. You know, Melbourne, Cocoa, Titusville, Palm Bay, especially up here in Titusville, close to the Space Coast. You're gonna get a lot of NASA stuff. It's a cool picture of the moon, bro. I don't need it, but it's pretty cool. Lots of cool NASA stuff. Your fake PSYOP NASA. Deceiving Hebrew. Yeah, but I got a soft spot for Wisconsin, man. I don't know why that happened. I've lived other places like Boston and New Hampshire and Atlanta, and I don't have a soft spot for those places. I don't really want to go back to those places, but I did not want to leave Wisconsin for some reason. And I had no hope of getting back with my ex or anything. It wasn't nothing like that. Ooh, this is going to be a good one. Let's see what kind of Beatles albums they have here, bro. B, no, that's D. Where's B, bro? There's B. A lot of times they'll just give the Beatles their own section, but not today, bro. That is a great album. Eric Clapton. Terrible shape, though. New arrivals. I'm starting to heat up a little bit. That means I need to take some vitamin C. Vitamin C at high doses with NAC. Oh, there's the Beatles right there in front of me. But high dose vitamin C, I'm talking 4,000 milliliters or milligrams every 4 hours combined with NAC, takes 80% of your opiate withdrawal away. It's great. And you just, every day you take a little less if you have supply. Now, a lot of people, they have to go cold turkey because they lose their, ability to score. They don't have money, or their drug dealing person goes to jail. And so they have to go into withdrawal immediately. High dose vitamin C. Liposomal. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. This is pretty cool. This place is way better than the other one. If you're gonna spend some time at a Titusville antique store, this is the one you wanna go to. Here we go, Kachina time. This is what you wanna look for. There's one right there. Oh yeah, they've got a bunch here, bro. This is a good one. I don't really particularly care for that one. This is what I like. I like this one here. These are what I'm looking for up here. That's what a Kachina is. And a lot of times they're in a case and you can't see the price. Let me see the price on this one if I can read it. Nope, it is faded. It says $135, bro, not today. I'm looking to spend $25 on one of these bad boys. This would be the only other one here. And I don't see a price tag on him, so I'm not gonna bother messing with him. But that's what we're looking for. That's what a Kachina is. And this is exactly where you would find it, Native American. This one's got a lot of sports. That might be the only Kachinas I find today. Not paying $135 for one today. I'll keep you updated. Okay, so that's a pre-1966 Paul with a post-1966 Paul. Do they look like the same people to you, bro? I don't think so. I saw a video recently with a guy that had some kind of device that he would walk around a store and he would put it around. He would just flash the camera around like this, and it would show like an image of a stick man around certain objects, meaning that some people had donated some of these things, or they died and they had attachments to them. And certain items you would see, if if this one had an attachment, I would scan in on it and it would show like a stick person. I got to figure out what this device is that this guy was using and get one and do that myself. Because you don't want to bring a cursed object back to your house. I think I went to a place one time and I bought like a cigar store Indian, and I was listening to a Coast to Coast AM episode and it was talking about cursed items, and I just got the weirdest vibe and I got rid of it. I put it in a dumpster, I'm sad to say. I didn't want any cursed items. Lots of NASA. But no Kachinas yet, just that one booth. Some old 90s Star Wars. Now this is some niche stuff right here, some NASA like work, motivational, like safety stuff here. Very cool niche stuff. Now how much they want for something like this? $25, $35 for a poster that probably hung on the wall in the break room in United Space Alliance cafeteria. This is probably the best antique store in Titusville. But this one definitely has better curation, better booths. This is the one you want to go to if you're out here in Titusville at this mall. You want to go to the outdoor one. The indoor one, not so great. The only thing the outdoor one's got going better for it, it's got a better soundtrack. I did enjoy the soundtrack of the last antique mall we were just in. But this one is way better stuff, curated way better. A lot less just random junk put together. A lot better art. I've seen a lot of art pieces that if I had my own place right now, I would definitely buy. To sell a lot of my art when I left Wisconsin. I was very sad about that. I didn't want to, but I didn't have space for it. I could make some money off of it, which I did. I spent it on cocaine, sadly. But I had a fucking good time shooting that shit right up my nose. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is. It's all impermanent anyway, bro. And I think we're almost at the end of our Kachina quest. Here's another one of my favorites, uranium glass. When I get my own place again, I have a nice collection of uranium glass to eat off of. I also gotta be very careful. I'm a big, goofy son of a bitch moving around some of these booths where it is just filled to the gills with stuff I can knock over and break. But this is looking like the end of the antique walk for today. This is the last little room I haven't explored. I love the smell. I love the smell of these items. Yeah, some of these things probably have some ghostly attachments though. I'll have to see if I can find out what that device is and get one for future videos. But it just blew my mind. He was just pointing the camera at stuff and you would see little stick figure things attached to it, like electromagnetism, ghostly. Somebody's prized possession. Somebody really liked horses. This reminds me of Wisconsin. The farm stuff, the horses. I'm a sentimental fool, bro. I hate to admit it, but it's true. Sentimental fool. Only saw 3 Kachinas overpriced. Or if they're not labeled where I can read it, I'm not gonna bother. Or a lot of times they'll be in a case. I'm not gonna usually bother to go run up to the front and have somebody come back here and unlock it unless I really want it and I really got the money for it. Here, let's give you a little picture. See, I'm even rocking the Wisconsin shirt today, bro. I don't even need the jacket. I don't know why I wore it. It's like 57 degrees. It's unusually cold for this time of year here. But I am battle hardened from Wisconsin. So we've already seen all this. That's it. That's all she wrote. We're gonna walk out of here and that'll be the end of this mall walking. That's it for the antique mall here in Titusville. I could walk through I was gonna walk through the outside, but it's too windy. I wanna walk through the inside one more time and catch the vibes. The 60s vibe one more time. This mall is a very 60s vibe. I love coming to this mall, even though there's nothing to do here. I really wish the head shop Indian guy was here and I could buy some mushroom gummies. But it smells like weed. Somebody smells like weed, bro. I miss it sometimes. It's been 4 months, but man, sometimes I do miss being faded AF. But that's it. 3 years later here at the Titusville Mall, bro. Just a giant junk store now. Imagine this being busy in the heydays of the space race in the 60s. This place just full of people. Imagine it. That's where I go mentally when I come here. I go to the 60s in the space race. The space race built Titusville. What a vibe. I love this place so much. I hope this stays here forever. It probably won't. Here's the office. Look at look what they're building. Look what they're turning it into. Assisted senior living in apartments. And boring. That's what it used to look like right there. And now half of that is gone. They've demolished half of it. We're actually gonna go outside and look at that. But what a vibe, bro. What a vibe. Even the music. Okay. Oh, there's the police. But you could walk down here and there used to be a movie theater and a Sears and all kinds of stuff at the end. It's all gone now, been demolished. Making way for the senior home. Get a New York slice at Valentino's. I wonder if, what's his name has been there? Dave Portnoy. I'll have to see if he's been there. But that's what they're building now. If you watch the video, I go all the way down and I go to the old movie theater and that's all gone now. Whoa, there's the wind almost trying to take me out. But there's your update. Looks like they're pouring the foundation. But that's all she wrote for today. Thanks again for joining. Jacket weather here in Florida. I'm still wearing shorts though. But that's all she wrote for today in the Titusville Mall. I love it. I always love coming here. I loved coming here as a child. It's gone down and they're tearing it down, but there you go. If you like this video, go watch the first one. You can see how it used to look. Do a little bit of video there. And I was in a totally different mental space 3 years ago. But that's all she wrote, folks. I've said that about 20 times now, but for real, that's it. Thanks again for watching. As always, you are enlightened. Turned out to be a nice day after all. It started out pretty shitty, but hey, what are you gonna do?